I was very scared to take it, but I was just like, YOLO.
Girls on drugs. Girls on drugs. Pills and subs.
So before I start this video, let me just make a disclaimer, because drugs are bad. Drugs should not be done by anyone. Do not do drugs, because if you do drugs, you're gonna be a drug addict and you're gonna blame me, and I'm not taking the fall from nobody. So do not do drugs. Drugs are not cool in any way, shape, or form. Even if they come in the shape of a Stewie head, they are not fucking cool. Do not do drugs, and I'm only gonna say it this one time. The reason I tell these stories is so y'all can learn from me or laugh at me. This one, I don't know if this one's even funny, but do not do drugs. I'm begging you guys, do not do drugs. Do not experiment with drugs. I was a grown-ass woman when I tried it, so yeah. Shooter was actually going to tell this story with me, but we actually did record the video, but then I watched it back and I was like, this is friggin' lame. I don't like it, so we're gonna do it without him, because Shooter just salted up the fucking video. And Shooter never salts up a video, so when I watched it back, I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this couple telling story bullshit. Like, I like when Shooter's telling his story and I'm sitting there, like the stab story, but when I'm telling a story, even though he was there and involved, like, I'd rather him just not be in the damn video. I'm so sorry. I know you guys love Shooter and want Shooter in all my damn videos, but guess whose channel this is, okay? So, let's get it poppin'. So, this happened a couple years ago. I was actually working at Rogers at the time, and this is where I obtained the drugs. This is where, okay, I'm saying drugs like, this is where I obtained the drug. Not drugs, but drug. So I was working at Rogers, and this is at a time where I wasn't a pothead, but I would still smoke. I wouldn't like when I stopped smoking weed, I still would smoke occasionally or socially. So a lot of times at work, I would burn it down with a few of my other employees. Who am I? I'm the owner or something. A few of my other coworkers would go downstairs and like bill up, so we would fucking smoke and then go back upstairs. One day in particular, I was sitting in this very back corner, and there's a black guy there that I was talking to, and he was just cool or whatever. Well, it wasn't just him, but like there was a bunch of us, and it was kind of like the group. We were kind of clicked up in there. Like, there were just a bunch of us, and we would always sit together. We'd always talk. At one point, they had to separate our asses because, well, fuck, we were just too much for them. So we're in the group or whatever, and we're talking. I don't know if we were talking about drugs or what, but the point is that Molly or Ecstasy was brought up, and I was like, oh, I've never tried it, but I kind of want to try it. But I was just saying that I didn't expect for the guy to have it on him at motherfucking work. It was literally just a half of the drug, and so it's not Molly, it was actually Ecstasy. And with Ecstasy is really bad, because you can either get a good batch or a bad batch, and if you get a bad batch, your ass is gonna die. Okay, that's not a joke. I'm not saying that to scare you away from the drug. Like, your ass is gonna die, because with Molly or MDMA, that is the purest form of ecstasy. It's not like cut up. With Ecstasy, it's like the cheaper version of MDMA, and a lot of people that make ecstasy don't give a fuck about you, and they will cut it with all kinds of chemicals, bitch, and if you die, you die. Like, I should never have done this, but I'm alive and well. Like, it is what it is. I did it. I would never do it again, kind of thing. But yeah, this is what happened. In high school, I didn't really experiment with drugs. I was like, drugs are whack. I've seen a guy from my grade sniff K off of a table, and I was looking at him like, nigga, you's a crackhead. Like, what are you doing? Like, K, animal tranquilizer, really? Anyway, yeah, I was sitting in this group, we're talking about all kinds of stuff, we're having casual conversation, and then the conversation goes into drugs, and the guy was like, yeah, you can try this if you want, and then you can buy some off of me if you like it. And so, I don't know why he said that to me, because, like, do I come off as a damn like a fiend or something? Like, I'm gonna try this and then you think I'm gonna come back for more? Like, no. I actually knew a guy that was addicted to ecstasy, which I don't understand, but whatever. Because, well, then some people are like that. Like, some people will take a drug and then need to take it again. They'll be like, oh fuck, this is good, let me buy some more, and then they just become a fucking fiend, which is whack. So yeah, so he's like, my girlfriend takes it all the time, blah blah blah. Side note, his girlfriend was white. I don't know if that's like a thing, but I don't know no black girls that be taking ecstasy on a regular basis, okay? He's like, yeah, my girlfriend takes it all the time, blah blah blah. So I'm like, so you work at Rogers, but you was a drug dealer? Really? With ecstasy? I never even met somebody. I've only seen ecstasy on like fucking Degrassi at this point in my life. Like, I never ever even knew ecstasy like it was so easily accessible. Okay, I had no idea. He tells me that I can have it, and I was just like, okay, cool, I'll let you know if I need more. No, I'm not gonna need more after I take this the one time. I tell Shooter, and Shooter's like, okay, cool, we'll do it, blah blah blah. Shooter's like, he's not down for whatever, but like, he's done ecstasy before, or yeah, he's done ecstasy in the past, so he already knew what it would do to him, to me, whatever. So he's already done it before, so it was nothing new to him. He's tried it, he doesn't like it, or he doesn't care for it, so like, he's not gonna be purchasing ecstasy by the boatload or nothing like that. So I bring the ecstasy home, and I was like, it was a weekend too, it was a Friday night that I got the ecstasy because I didn't have work the next day. So I bring the ecstasy home. It's a little tiny pink pill, and I think he gave it to me for free because it was only half of a pill. But I looked at him when he was giving it to me. I'm like, free? Like, is there anything wrong with this? Like, am I gonna die if I take this? And he's like, no, like, I'm not gonna do that to you. Plus, there were other people there that seen him give it to me. Not to say that they would, if something did happen to me, that they was gonna tell and say he gave it to her and killed her. But either way, there was a lot of people around when he gave it to me anyway. So it was just like, I was just like, fuck it. Not a good way or a mentality to have, by the way. And you know what? Before I continue this story, because a lot of motherfuckers have something to say when I tell a story, okay? Before I continue this story, understand one thing. This did not happen yesterday, okay? This is not a story from yesterday, honey, or even last year or the year before that, okay? This is way into the past. So do not try to come and say, well, you shouldn't be trying drugs and blah blah blah. Bitch, I already did. What you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? I'll wait. Oh, that's right, absolutely nothing. So let me tell my story without it having to be a problem, okay? Because I'm sick of y'all bitches and y'all niggas having a problem with my motherfucking stories. If I want to tell my stories, I'm going to tell my stories, and you're gonna listen to them and you're gonna learn from them, okay? That's it. You're not gonna try and drag me for having a crazy ass past and a rebellious life. And the other thing is too, because sometimes I get comments and they're just like how my shit seems over exaggerated. Well, I really truly believe, and I'm so sorry for ranting because this is a story time, oh my gosh, I truly believe that motherfuckers want me to sit up here and be like, okay, so I was working at Rogers and I came across this man and he had a pink pill on him, and I asked him if I could try the pink pill, and he said he'll give it to me for free, and if I liked it then I could actually buy a full pill off of him. That is not how I'm gonna tell my story, okay? That is not how it went. That is not how I'm going to tell it. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and be boring. My stories are not over exaggerated. I am fucking energetic, if you didn't notice. And so I'm passionate when I'm telling my stories. So yes, I've had crazy things happen to me. I don't give a fuck if they seem fake or not, okay? My life is my life. I've made bad decisions after bad decisions. Actually, no. And that's the other thing too. Like, when I make a bad decision, it's not like I made a bad decision today and tomorrow I'm gonna make another bad decision. No, it was 1 year I made a bad decision, maybe 2 years passed and I made another bad decision. Okay, it's just the facts of life. Everybody makes bad decisions every once in a while. I'm just a fucking rebel, and I have no care, and that is why I end up in the situations I end up in. Okay, they may be stupid, they may be a little crazy, but at least I lived to tell them, okay? So now that that's out of the way, let's get back into these pink pills. So yes, it was half of a pink pill, and when you looked at it, it looked like Stewie's head from Family Guy. It was a Stewie head pill, and it was cut in half, so it was just like, it looked like half of a diamond because Stewie's head is like a football shape. So it looked like half of a football, and it had Stewie's face imprinted on it, but it was only like half of his nose, half of his lips, half his left eye or whatever, or his right eye, whatever. So that's what the pill looked like. I was very scared to take it, but I was just like, YOLO, okay?
About it every day, every day, every day. Like we sitting on the bench, nigga, we don't really play. Every day, every day. Fuck what anybody say. Can't see him cause the money in the way. Real nigga, what's up?
Yeah, that's what the pill looked like, okay? So it was in a little baggie. I bring it home to Shooter. He inspects it like he's some motherfucking scientist. Nigga, you's not a scientist. There's nothing to inspect. Like, you're not gonna be able to see if there is fucking bleach in here, because you're not doing some reverse chemical analysis where you basically find what compounds are in there. Let me not try to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he's inspecting it. He's like, looks fine to me. And so we're like, okay, we'll take it later at night. At this time, because I've never done drugs, I wanted to research everything, but Shooter was like, do not research it because you're gonna freak out or something. Like, do not research it, just leave it alone. We'll take it and you'll see what happens. Like, so I'm thinking it's something like shrooms where I'm gonna be hallucinating and shit. And so we fast forward to nighttime, and we split the pill in half. Mind you, it's already a half. So we split the pill in half. So now I'm taking a quarter of the pill and he's taking the other quarter of the pill. He had the bigger half of the pill because I was like, I never did this before. I ain't ready for all that. Like, you take the bigger half, I'll take the smaller half, and we'll call it a day. So we both pop the pill, pop, pop. And we're in the basement and we're watching American Dad. So this episode, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I'll try to find a clip of it. But this is the episode where, like, it was like a psychedelic episode. And so Roger was like floating on, he was like floating in the middle of the air. And we had just taken the pill too. Like, it hadn't kicked in yet. It takes a little bit to kick in. So I'm watching the show. Roger's floating in the middle of the air and there's like colors and everything in the background. And so I look at Shooter and I'm like, oh my gosh, is this the trip? Like, I'm tripping right now. And he's like, no babe, like, this is not a drug that is like that. Like, you can function, you're not hallucinating anything, it's not like a psychedelic drug. You appear absolutely normal, but like, you feel. So I was like, oh, okay. So maybe about maybe about 15 minutes goes by after taking the pill. We're still watching American Dad and we're like, okay, this pill's trash, not kicking in. What are we doing? Why did we even bother? Like, I'm going to bed. The thing about this kind of drug is that you cannot sleep, okay? There is no sleep. And I believe Ecstasy will keep you up for at least 24 hours and you're not supposed to sleep. And this is something I actually had researched. And so if you do sleep while you're on the drug, you can actually fall into a coma and all kinds of crazy shit. And so I was like, bitch, I ain't sleeping, I'm gonna stay awake. Maybe 15 minutes had passed. We were like, okay, this sucks. Like, obviously his ecstasy is whack. So it's not kicking in, and so we're like, fuck it, we're going to bed. So we go lay down. We're laying in the basement listening to the TV at this point. We didn't care to go upstairs to go to sleep, so we're staying on the couch. So we're laying on the couch and I'm on the inside of the couch and Shooter is on the outside of the couch. And I'm laying there trying to fall asleep. Bitch, I couldn't sleep a motherfucking wink. And I wasn't thinking about anything, but I was trying to go to sleep. So maybe I was thinking about sleeping. And for the life of me, I couldn't fall asleep. But when I say it was quiet in that basement, like, quiet. Like, I thought Shooter was sleeping. But he wasn't. Maybe after about, I don't know, 20 minutes of laying there trying to fall asleep and not falling asleep, I'm like, babe? And he's like, yep. And when I realized he was awake too, I was like, oh my gosh, did it kick in? Because I can't sleep, and he's like, I can't sleep either. And he was very tired before he actually had taken it. So yeah, so he was like, yeah, I can't sleep either. And so he ends up rolling. His back was to my back, and so he ends up rolling over, and this is where it gets a little nasty. He ends up rolling over onto like to face me, pulls my shorts down, and we had the most euphoric sex ever. Okay, the sex had like, I'm so sorry, but it's never been it's never been as good as it was that one night. Like, this drug took the sex to a whole nother motherfucking level, bitch. Like, I'm not even joking. And so I was like, I can't even describe to you how this sex felt. Like, it was legit another planet sex. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, Martians invaded my coochie. Like, I don't even know. Like, it was so fucking good. I can't explain it to you. I cannot explain to you the feeling that I had when we were having sex that night. And so whatever, we have sex, it's extremely passionate, and oh my gosh. It's one of them sexes that you're like, you know that meme of the lady licking the mug, and it's just like that, like when you're thinking about when the sex was so good you're thinking about it the next day, and she's like licking the mug. She's like the fucking coffee spilled on the side of the mug, and she's licking it like she's licking cock, bitch. Like, it was real, okay? So that's the kind of, it's like sex that you think about. Like, it's sex that you think about way into the future. Like 10 years down the line, you're still thinking about that one night. That's the kind of sex that was, okay? So we have this euphoric ass sex, and then we finish having sex or whatever, clean up, and we're like, I'm hungry. Like, bitch, I got the munchies. So we end up going upstairs and chefing pancakes. If you scroll down mine or Shooter's Instagram, you will see a picture of Shooter holding the spatula with the pancakes like this. Like Nardwar. And so, yeah, there's a picture of him, and he looks like, his hair is super short. First of all, the man is damn near unrecognizable. He don't look like my Shooter today. He looks like Shooter from the past. And yeah, there's a picture of him on one of our Instagrams, I don't know whose it is, where he's just holding the spatula with the pancakes on it. He made pancakes, and we were busting jokes, you guys. Like, when I say we had the most amount of jokes, like, I thought weed made you laugh, but no. Ecstasy, like, we were crying laughing in the kitchen, fucking around. So I'm sitting on the counter while he's making pancakes. I don't even fuck with pancakes, you guys. I like waffles. I don't even fuck with pancakes like that. When I say I was loving and living for the pancakes, homegirl, the pancakes were delicioso, bitch. Like, they were so good. Everything was just good that night. Like, from the sex to the pancakes to the jokes, I don't remember not one single joke. Yeah, we were fucking crying in the kitchen. So Shooter's chefing up pancakes. He gives me my plate of pancakes. I'm eating them like I never ate before, bitch. And I'm eating like the fucking guy that fucking ditched me at the damn restaurant. That's how I was eating. Like, if you were there, you would have been like, bitch, you never ate today? Like, are you hungry or not? So that's how I was eating. I was eating like I never had a meal in my life. Anyway, the pancakes were amazeballs, okay? Shooter's kitchen, making pancakes, making pancakes. Baking pancakes, bacon pancakes. No, there was no bacon because I don't eat pork. But he eats his pancakes. I was like, babe, come here. He comes, stands in front of me, and I'm like, your fucking eyes look like he looked like, you know when a cat's eyes are in full like circles and not like the slits because there's lights? His pupils were huge, like huge. And Shooter's eyes are so green that it was a world of a difference. And maybe it kind of looked different because I was on the drug too, and my pupils were the same, but like my eyes are brown, so you couldn't see it as well as you could see his. But like, when I say his pupils looked like there were two like black buttons two black buttons in his eyes, and I was just like, babe, your eyes are so intense. And then we just started cracking up from that. And I was trying to get him to look into mine. He couldn't see shit. Even though my eyes are like super, super dark, he could not see a damn thing in my damn eyes. After we finished eating our pancakes and busting jokes in the kitchen, we go back downstairs, go for round two. And then after round two, Shooter fucking knocks out, and I'm just laying there like, bitch, I feel used. Because I thought that you couldn't sleep on the drug, and he's like, no, babe, don't worry, babe, just go to bed. But I was like, I ain't taking that risk, because if I don't wake up tomorrow morning, how you gonna explain to my mama why I'm in a coma? You gonna tell her that I had a fucking ecstasy? Really? No. So I'm gonna stay awake, and I was literally awake for, I'm gonna say 18 hours, not the full 24, just because I didn't take a full pill. If I took a full pill, I feel like I would have probably been up for 3 days straight. Like, nah, bitch. Anyway, round two of the sex was just as euphoric as round one, and then Shooter fell asleep, and I was left there awake, feeling used. And yeah, like when you're on ecstasy or any kind of drug like that, you definitely go through a bunch of emotions. Anyway, that is a story on the time me and Shooter did ecstasy together, and I will never do ecstasy again. If there's anything I learned from that, it was just simply don't do drugs. Like, there's no sense in doing drugs. There really isn't. I don't know why I wanted to try it. I don't know what made me want to try it. The devil's a liar, honey. He just So God was definitely disappointed in me, for sure, for doing that. I'm definitely disappointed in myself when I look back at it, just because like it was unnecessary. I didn't need to try that. There was no real reason I wanted to try it, other than I hadn't done any drugs before and I always heard of ecstasy. But that's the same as it was with weed. The only difference with weed is that I never one, you can't really get addicted to weed, and I cut off weed like that when it was time. But yeah, there was no real tea or real reason for me to have wanted to try that drug, and that could have been a bad batch that I got. And so basically, I'm glad that I don't have an addictive personality, because true, if you have like addiction, if addiction runs in your family, there is a likelihood that you can get addicted to any kind of drug, whether it be street pharmaceuticals or prescription pharmaceuticals. It doesn't matter, bitch. It could be Tylenol 3s, okay? Like, it could be anything. If you have an addictive personality, like, you can definitely get caught up and go down a crazy path. And so luckily that's not my family, and I don't have those problems don't run in my family. So I was good. I was in the clear. Same for Shooter. Like, actually, well, his family's more like but he's good. Like, he doesn't have any addiction problems. Neither of us smoke cigarettes. Like, ew. Like, ew, if you smoke cigarettes, like, ew. Like, don't talk to me, ew. But yeah, I think all drugs are pretty much bad. I don't agree with doing drugs. I have like a soft spot for marijuana, just because I know it has healing properties and stuff, and you can get it legally. But for all the other drugs, it's kind of just like, that's fucking pointless. And I've never done any drug other than fucking Advil, Tylenol, Midol, anything related to my period, marijuana, and then ecstasy. I've never done any other drugs other than that. I cannot speak for my right hand man, but he will tell you whatever stories he wants to tell you. But yeah, I've never done any hard narcotics. Oh, no coke, no crack. Nuh-uh, bitch. Do you see my skin? Like, bitch, no. Like, no. If you smoke cigarettes, you turn ugly. You drink too much alcohol, you turn ugly. You do too many fucking, you do too much crack piping, you turn ugly. You snort too much coke, you turn ugly. Like, there's no drug in this world that makes you prettier. If there was, I would probably do it. But that ain't for me. So drugs are bad, kids. Do not do drugs. If you're gonna take anything from this story, take that. There was no, like, it's not cool. I didn't gain money from doing it. There was no benefits to it, really. Like, there was really no benefits to it, despite the fact that the sex was awesome. Like, you could have awesome sex any day of the week. You just gotta put a little effort in, okay? So there was nothing to gain from doing Ecstasy, and it really could have been a bad batch, and I could have died. I could have ended up in the hospital. Anything could have happened to me. So despite the fact that I was as careful as I could be, there's really no telling. It's the same with weed, because weed does come laced, and that's why I don't smoke it anymore. With weed, unless you're growing it yourself and you know what chemicals or whatever, if you know any extra shit that you want to put in it, like, you don't know what these fucking farmers are spraying on their weed. It could be fucking Windex, bitch, and then you go crazy. Like, no. So it's just safe to just not do drugs, period. If you can name me one motherfucking beneficial thing about doing drugs, let me know. But like I said, I have a soft spot for marijuana. I'm not against anybody that smokes weed, because I was once a stoner. I was a stoner girl. I was definitely a stoner. I only listened to fucking Kid Cudi and fucking Wiz Khalifa at one point in my life. Like, I only listened to weed rap, okay? I was like that kind of stoner. And, or like melodic things that sounded good to the ears. Like, so yeah, I'm not against anybody that smokes weed. Like, more power to you. I wish I could still smoke, but I just can't. So, yeah. That's basically all I have to say about that. Hopefully you guys don't run out and do drugs. Like, if you all go out and do drugs, I ain't fucking with you. Like, you're lame. Goodbye. See you never. I don't fuck with you if you do drugs. I'm so sorry. Sorry to the cigarette smokers. I really am. I'm just like, do you not love yourself? Bitch, love yourself. Like, cigarettes are so bad for you. Oh my gosh, it honestly breaks my heart when I see black women smoking cigarettes. I honestly get so heartbroken. I'm just like, you are so beautiful. Why are you smoking? Am I the only one that feels like that? Is that kind of crazy? I really just do not like seeing black women smoke cigarettes. Like, I used to have a manager and I loved her to pieces, but she would go out and smoke her cigarettes. And she always smoked menthols. It's like a thing for black people to smoke menthols. I don't understand it. They actually kind of smell better than regular cigarettes, but like, when people smoke cigarettes around me, bitch, I really just want to take a bag and put it over my head, tie that shit up. Like, I can't do the whole cigarette thing. I really just can't. Makes your skin crater, gives y'all wrinkles. No, I've seen too many people with holes in their neck from being cigarette smokers. I've seen too many people get cancer. I've seen too many people that are smokers not get cancer, and the people that live with them get cancer. Secondhand smoke is real. Like, and when I see people smoking with their little babies in hand or in the girl, I want to slap the cigarette out the people's hands, or like call CAS. Like, how are you smoking while you're holding your baby? Like, I seen bitches smoke pregnant. You know what? Let me go. I got to go. I love you all, and I will definitely see you in the next one.